It's Tasty Tuesday here on Up to the Minute. We always bring in local restaurants, and today's no exception. We've got Bob Orzo joining us. He's the owner and proprietor of Bob's, or Bagel Bobs, I should say, out on the west side of town. Good to see you, Bob. How are you?
Okay, I'm all right. We're making some bagels over here.
Making
at
bagels.
the moment some plain bagels and everything bagels.
And these are extremely authentic because you're from New York. We can tell by your accent. So you know what you're doing when it comes to, you're from the East. Tell us about your journey to Houston. What brought you here?
Well, basically it became a bad business environment in New York like 15, 18 years ago. And a lot of businesses dried up and went out during the raid on small business, let's say. Over 40,000 businesses went out in a 12-year period. And I was just one of them. And I came to Houston because I had connections here. And I decided to try to get my bagel thing going over here in Texas.
And you've also, if I'm reading here, you worked for a couple of other places for several years with B&B Butchers. Is that correct?
Yes. What happened was I was only open for 6 months. When I came in 2015, I had 4 floods in 6 months. And I went out of business. And Ben Berg had become a customer of mine. And when I was going out, he was getting open. And he offered me a job as his bread baker. And the rest was history. For 5 years, I've been baking bread for Ben. And, you know, he has various situations now besides the B&B Butchers. And it was a wonderful experience working for him and his organization. But then this store came along and I had the chance to grab the store and converted a bagel shop, donut shop into my current bagel store, which is going to be, it's a small bagel store here. Right. It's kind of a bagel deli. You know.
And you guys are tell folks where exactly you're located, where they can find you.
Directly across the street from Tully Stadium, which is the Spring Branch Independent School District sports complex. Okay. It's on 1011A Dairy Ashford, right off I-10.
All right. And we'll put some information in our social media post after the show. You got some bagels going on now. Tell us what you're going to be doing for us.
Okay, let me take a look at the oven, and then we're going to take a look at the rolling situation. We have my crew, my very nice crew here. Pedro is here, and Shelly making the breakfast sandwiches. Breakfast sandwich, very big thing here. People love them.
You know, what has been the reaction in Houston? I mean, I know I'm a bagel lover, and it seems to be a lot of them in Houston. But being in Texas, you know, people here know what kolaches are, breakfast sandwiches. What's been the reaction to true New York-style bagels?
The reaction's been very good. People just like it because I guess the particular breakfast sandwich that we do, for some reason, wasn't happening here. Right. I mean, there's other bagel stores very successful here, but I guess that's part of the New York bagel world. We're not all the same. You go from town to town, neighborhood to neighborhood. Everybody's got their own little twist on it. Right. So I'm going to turn some bagels in the oven right now. Okay. And then we're going to roll a few bagels so you can see how that works. So right now they're on the boards. This is the original authentic style. They're on boards with canvas. They first go in the water, they get boiled, then they go on the board and they bake for 5 minutes. And then when they're baked on one side and dried out like that, we turn them over. Notice there's no gloves and there's no gloves necessary because this is everything on the bottom and plain on top. Okay. There's no gloves because it's a 500-degree oven and it's boiling water. Yeah. And once they're finished baking, they come out of the oven. They're never handled again. Some people are concerned when they see no gloves in the making of the bagels, but basically you can't handle boiled water in a 500-degree oven with those gloves on. Right. So now we have over here the dough. This is the plain dough. I'm going to roll out a few bagels so you can see how it works. I made a small batch for the occasion. So the plain dough is going to give us the plain bagels, obviously, and the everything. Plain and everything consumes more than half of everything we do. Wow. And then there's the flavors. There's cinnamon raisin. We do marble rye. We do egg, blueberry, whole wheat. When you get into the seeds, that's all on the plain bagels. The plain bagels is the base for the plain, the everything, the onion, the garlic salt, all of that. You make it, rolling those bagels look pretty easy. How long would it take someone? I'm actually going pretty slow because I'm trying to stay focused here. Okay, that's a good question. I roll out in an hour about 12 dozen bagels. Wow. In 1 hour out of a dough that is 22 pounds in weight. It's very basic dough. What I do that's a little different than everybody else, we don't use dough conditioners. This is a preservative that keeps the bagel soft all day.
Right.
I got away from that as soon as I learned how to make bagels in New York. It's basic. I use spring water. You got to have really good water for a good pizza or bagel or anything with bread.
Right.
So it's the water and the flour, high gluten flour. This is not a low gluten operation. And salt and yeast and malt syrup. Malt syrup usually comes from barley, but there's a problem with barley malt syrup right now. So we're using corn malt syrup, which works.
Okay.
It's just about the same.
Tell me about those
I'm not talking too much.
Yeah, no, I want to know about those breakfast sandwiches. You said yours are unique. Tell us a bit about those.
Okay, the breakfast sandwich. Dave, if you could we, did they just finish that sandwich? He wants to know about the breakfast sandwiches. Can we catch one in action there? Okay, here, let's catch him right now. Pedro's putting together bacon, egg, and cheese. No, it's a sausage, egg, and cheese. So the thing about our breakfast sandwiches that a lot of people like is that we offer 8 different meats and cheeses. You could get pastrami or roast beef or turkey, not just bacon, ham, or sausage. Aside from American cheese, of course, we have Swiss cheese, but we have mozzarella and smoked Gouda and pepper jack and cheddar. So I try to offer 8 meats and 8 cheeses, and that offers a lot of combinations when you look at the possible variety of bagels. I think that's part of what people like.
That looks incredible. That looks so. If folks
that's an everything bagel, the sausage, bacon, cheese.
Okay, so it's an everything bagel. Oh man, that looks great there.
Yes. Well, actually, that is what we call a JJ special. I don't know. There was a certain JJ that was working here for many years in this town, and he's gone now, unfortunately, to Arizona.
Yeah, we miss him.
He used to get 2 large of these sandwiches. This is a small one, a regular sandwich.
Oh, wow.
But he would get 2 large. He liked to come day after game day, and his wife also had his beautiful wife, who was the soccer player. She would have a large one also. So they would get 3 large. Very nice people.
That looks
I can't
incredible.
say enough good about them. Yeah.
Bob Orzo.
That's it.
That looks really good, Bob. Bob Orzo is the owner and proprietor of Bagel Bobs. We're going to, of course, have some more information on his place after the show. Pulling some more bagels out of the oven there.
So, yeah, here you got your everythings. They're a little light.
There you go.
Yeah, they could use a couple more minutes, but this is your everythings, and in about 3 or 4 minutes. Sorry, I'm a little late on this. Those are going to be the plains.
Look at that.
Got to get them a nice golden crispy touch there. You know, you want that little crunch on the outside and that soft texture on the inside.
Bob, I think we're all going to have to get out there and get some breakfast in the future.
Okay, I hope you do make it. And if you don't, you give us a call. We'll arrange some kind of a delivery.
Bob, I appreciate it. Thank you for being on the show. And once again, folks, we'll have a link to Bagel Bobs in our social media post after the show's over. Take care, Bob. Stay safe out there.
Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Okay.
All right.